2 years, 738 days. For many Israeli hostages, every single minute of that time was spent suspended between life and death in the deep underground tunnels of Gaza. They survived on fear, on memories of loved ones back home, and on the faint hope that they might one day see the light again. Now, as the iron doors of hell close behind them, they return to their families' arms carrying wounds no one can see. Those recently released in the latest prisoner exchange with Hamas have begun to recount the horrifying ordeal of their captivity. A time, as one former hostage said, when every breath could have been my last. Avinatan Or, 32, is among the most talked about hostages. He and his girlfriend, Noa Argamani, were captured at the Nova Music Festival during the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack, one of the deadliest assaults in modern Israeli history. Throughout 738 days of imprisonment, Or said he lived in inhuman conditions: no sunlight, no fresh air, no talking, and no sense of day or night. I lost all concept of time. Some days I didn't know where I was, only that I was slowly dying inside a dark box, he told Israeli investigators after his release. He was held in a small underground room less than 3 square meters with several others. They were forced to remain completely silent. Whenever bombs exploded above, the ceiling would shake, dust would fall, and they could barely breathe. We were not allowed to speak. If anyone made a sound, they opened the door and beat us. I think they wanted us to forget we were human, Or recalled. Other hostages told the Times of Israel and Haaretz they were constantly moved by Hamas between ruins, tunnels, and even hospitals in Gaza to avoid Israeli airstrikes. They survived on meager rations, mostly dry bread and dirty water. A female hostage described, "Each day we got a tiny piece of bread and a sip of water. We shared every drop because if someone drank more, others would have none." According to Israeli military doctors, most returning hostages suffered from severe malnutrition, losing 10 to 20 kilograms. Some had broken bones, nerve damage, and serious psychological trauma. Some can't sleep because they fear the dark, said a doctor at Sheba Hospital to Reuters. They don't dare eat or lift their heads. When the door opens, they flinch, as if still being watched. Former hostage Horen, who was also recently freed, told reporters in Tel Aviv on October 14 that he owed his second life to former U.S. President Donald Trump, who played a key role in brokering the ceasefire and prisoner exchange. "Thanks to him, I'm alive. Thanks to him, my brother came home," his voice trembling as he said. Meanwhile, the wife of another released hostage, Miriam Lavi, urged the international community to not forget those still missing or dead. 24 people are still unaccounted for. They deserve a proper burial. We won't stop until everyone is home. According to Reuters and the BBC, the prisoner exchange between October 13 and 14, 2025, marked the first phase of a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. Hamas released 20 Israeli hostages, mostly soldiers and civilians captured in the 2023 attacks, in exchange for about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. It was the largest exchange since the war began. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, present in Israel just before the exchange, declared, "Today marks the beginning of peace. After 2 years of bloodshed, we have a chance to close this dark chapter." Among the freed hostages, many symbolized the pain Israeli society has endured for 2 years. Noa Argamani, rescued by Israeli Special Forces in June 2024, had tirelessly campaigned for the release of Hamas captives. When she reunited with Avinatan Or, she burst into tears. The two embraced in a video released by the Israeli military, one of the most emotional moments since the war began. But behind the joy of reunion are scars that may never heal. Several hostages said Hamas forced them to record propaganda videos under threat of guns. One man told Haaretz, "They made me read words of thanks to Hamas on camera. If I refused, they beat me or starved me. I did it to survive." Israeli authorities are now urgently collecting testimonies from freed hostages to investigate Hamas's human rights violations. A Defense Ministry official told AP, "Every story is evidence. Bringing them home isn't enough. We must bring them justice." The Israel-Hamas war began on October 7, 2023, when hundreds of Hamas gunmen stormed southern Israel, killing around 1,200 people and taking more than 250 hostages. The attack triggered a massive Israeli military campaign in Gaza, which, according to the UN, has killed over 35,000 Palestinians and displaced millions. Despite multiple ceasefire negotiations, fighting repeatedly reignited due to disputes over prisoner releases and border control. The latest ceasefire, reached in October 2025 with mediation from the US, Egypt, and Qatar, is seen as the most significant progress since the start of the war. However, observers warn it is only the beginning of a long and fragile process. Israeli officials say many people remain missing in Gaza, their fate uncertain. As the hostages return home, the psychological wounds remain. The scars will never fade. The image of Noah Argamani and Avinatan Or embracing, through tears and camera flashes, stands not only as a symbol of love and hope, but also as a haunting reminder of the terrible price of war, and of how those who have lost everything must somehow learn to start again.